Okay, I'm going to bring this meeting of the Governing Board of Library Trustees to order. And do we have any questions about closed session? Seeing none, we'll adjourn to closed session. Okay, we're back from closed session. Announcements from closed session. Ms. Buona's service as the interim library director will end on December 31st, 2019, but the board desires to continue her employment as a limited board designee consultant for the sole purpose of assisting the board with concluding the remodel of the library. Accordingly, pursuant to Government Code Section 54953, Subdivision C3, the board provides this oral summary of the compensation for the part-time and temporary executive position of limited board designee. The term of this amendment, number 3, will be for no more than 3 months, commencing on January 1st, 2020, and ending on March 31st, 2020, or until the remodel work is completed, whichever occurs first. Ms. Buona will be paid at the rate of $500 per diem, less all statutory deductions, for no more than 15 days. The amendment does not provide for any other compensation or benefits. Do we have any board questions or comments about this? No. Do we have any public questions or comments about this?
I just want to say you couldn't have made a better decision with this, Miss Aida.
Good.
All her background, I can't believe. Finally got somebody that's, I'm just sorry that she's going to retire again.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Do we have a motion to approve the contract for limited board designee?
I'll move.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye as well. Okay, let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call of trustees. All are present. Public comment. Persons wishing to speak to an agenda item may raise their hand during public comment. The library board president will recognize you for the discussion at the appropriate time. Speakers will provide their name to the library board, after which the speaker will have 5 minutes to speak. Notice to public. Any member of the public wishing to address the governing board on a topic within the subject matter jurisdiction of the district, but not on the agenda, may do so during the public comment period identified in this agenda. By law, subjects not on the agenda cannot be acted upon by the board except to briefly respond, clarify, or refer to staff for review and presentation at a future meeting. No guests in presentation?
No.
Any correspondence?
No.
Okay, consent agenda. Do we have any questions from the board on the consent agenda? Do we have any public questions or comments on the consent agenda? Okay, seeing none, do we have a motion to approve the approval of the November 14th, 2019 agenda minutes and November 22nd, 2019 special board meeting?
I'll move.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye as well. Conference action.
Okay.
Eight A,
Um,
pages 17 and 21.
No, we just approved that. So we're on
22 and
nine
37.
now. Yeah. I think the pages are not
Yeah.
what they
Maybe
should
from
be.
last time, yeah.
Pages are all cuckoo.
Okay, so we're on update on renovations.
Yes, administration recommends that the board close the library on December 21st, which is a Saturday, through December 26th to install the carpet in the Carnegie and main portions of the library. The children's and reference areas will have carpeted installed in mid-January 2020. This time frame falls when the library would be closed for December 24th and December 25th. In order to install the carpet, which is arriving and has arrived already at the carpet company, we need to remove the books and shelving units in the Carnegie and main floor. We bring to you the cost of having a company do the packing and removal and what it would cost to have staff do the job. Overall, if we have staff work 2 days or from 2 to 4 days, the cost would be $6,900. I have guessed on the cost of the employees that Moreno Construction would use at $5,000, total cost being $11,000. I received a quote today from a moving company. The cost alone for labor is $14,000, and that does not include the rental of the carts, nor the charge for travel, nor, and that's only for 1 day. The total cost that they're charging is 1575.
So what does the staff think about it?
That was gonna be my question
Like, I mean,
too.
it's
This is
probably
a-
outside of their job description. I mean, are they okay with?
No. Speaking to staff, they're very much, they know they would pack the books. We'd have Moreno Construction place them on carts. The materials, the books, the carts would all stay in the library. That way we don't have to move them, but we do have room, whether it's in the Miller Building and/or the house, where we could put the boxes and the carts. So they're open to it. They know that I'm not gonna have them lift heavy boxes. The carts they roll, so you don't have to do anything other than place everything there, make sure that they're arranged in some kind of order, that when we have to put them back on the shelves, they can be done without too much difficulty.
And they won't be doing the actual moving of the heavier
No.
shelving pieces?
No,
That'll be the
that's Moreno
construction.
Construction will be working with us on that.
Okay. Any other board questions or comments on that? Any public questions or comments on that? Okay. Seeing none. So you're asking for a motion to close during those 2 days?
Yes.
Okay.
And are we also
And the
approving
26th.
But are we also approving for our own staff to do the moving as well?
No, that's not,
But we don't need to approve that.
you don't have to approve that.
That would be on their normal work days.
That's under normal.
Okay.
Okay. All right, do we have a motion to approve the renovations and closures as discussed?
I move that we approve the closures and the renovations as discussed.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye as well. Okay. Action item 9B, quote to paint the exterior of the Carnegie.
Okay. Administration recommends the board approve the lowest quotes received for the painting of the exterior of the Carnegie Building. The exterior of the Carnegie Building has not been painted in over 30 years. The quotes tonight are the special paint that's needed for the exterior of the building, allowing for expansion of the material so that cracks are not produced during extreme heat and cold.
Is that because it's a
It's
historic
usu-
building?
Is that like a last American?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
That's very
And
good stuff.
one of the things is, it's typical that you paint buildings every 10 years. It's been 30 years since the Carnegie has been painted. You have two quotes. One is from Universal Painting, which is $24,750, and then we have Zachary McCord Painting for $17,500.
Okay, any board questions or comments?
I would ask, have we vetted both of these companies and to see, what their rating is? Because, I'm all about saving us money, but I just want to make sure that we are going to get quality, because it's not worth saving that much money if
it's not gonna be quality, so I just,
Zach McCord has been totally vetted. He's the current painter of the interior of the library.
Okay.
We had several, I called several of his references, and all had glowing numbers.
very good, thank you.
And I might have brought this up last time, but, I mean, I don't know if there's standards because it is a historical building, if it has to be returned to, that sort of thing.
Yeah, are there paint color requirements and such things? Is he aware of that?
Like
How
no
do we look
teal, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
at- Bright pink, yeah.
I've asked Susan to look into it, and she's usually the historian that does this kind of thing. And at this point, there is nothing that impedes the painting of the exterior of the Carnegie.
Okay.
So, again, I didn't hear, which of the painting companies are we talking about that have been vetted? You said-
Universal Painting Contractors, and then Zach McCord Painting.
Right, but then you mentioned that one of these is currently doing
The
the
interior,
interior.
Zach
And that
McCord.
is?
Zach McCord Painting. And I,
But looking at the specs, the first one, the most expensive, is, much more thorough. I mean, that's one thing to look at. And it seems that, I know that not everything needs to be typed, but the longhand.
no, it's at the board's discretion. My recommendation, of course, is always to go to the lowest bid.
Okay.
If the board, though, wishes to go with Universal Painting, that's at your discretion.
And if you actually compare the items, and I know he's handwritten, so it's a little hard to read.
Yeah.
But if you do compare the items, it's actually identical, the
Okay.
items of what they say. So when they talk about, preparing the bare and worn surfaces and, putting on 2 coats of the same kind of paint, I mean, they have the exact kind of paint, it says 2 coats of the same exact kind of paint. So I think it's identical, I think it's just that it's handwritten, hard to read.
Yeah, and I certainly would go along with your recommendation at this point.
So, and since he is currently doing the inside painting, you guys have been happy with his work and professionalism and showing up on time and working with you?
Yes.
Any other,
I've been working with him Sundays. We're trying as much as possible not to interfere with workday.
and he seems flexible about?
Very flexible.
Okay.
Great.
Any other questions or comments? Any public questions or comments? Seeing none? Okay, do we have a motion to approve the painting of the Carnegie Building with Zachary McCord Painting?
I'll move.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye as well. Motion carries. Okay, 9C.
Okay, administration recommends the board approve the appropriation transfer request to cover the cost of the additional shelving for the Carnegie and Main sections of the library, painting and repairs made to the restrooms. This request must go to Solano County Auditor's Office for the transfer of dollars to be made. The end-of-year budget had a surplus that we are now requesting a transfer of $125,000 to cover the above-mentioned costs. Our initial request for remodel did not include the cost of shelving for the Carnegie or the main sections of the library. In fact, that shelving alone puts the total cost of shelving to $100,110. The original shelving for the children's section and the video reference area was close to $28,000. But, so the majority of shelving is, in fact, for the main part of the library and Carnegie. We bring these costs to the board for approval. In the course of preparing the walls for painting the restrooms, walls were found to be beyond repair. They had bubble spots and mold on the lower portions of the walls. So, as I shared with you last time, we had those, that material removed from the bathrooms. We had them retextured, which is work that Moreno Construction did for us. And then we had Zach repaint them.
So they just scrape it, right? They scrape it off and they repaint it, resurface and paint?
We resurfaced it and then painted it.
Okay,
So this is two items, first the transfer request and then the Carnegie and the shelving of the main floor. So are we still on C?
we're still on
No,
C.
we're still on C. It's just, I have to explain what the transfer is for.
Yeah.
Any other board questions or comments? So when you say the 125 balance, that was from last year's,
Yes.
okay, and so could you just explain briefly why we need to transfer that into this year's?
We didn't consider the cost of total shelving being as high as it was. We did add 100,000 to building maintenance and improvements. So this is beyond that. This is going to be something that's depreciated, so I have to put it into a different section. Carryover from last year is well above $200,000. So that money can be spent on library improvements, and that's all the different things we've been doing will improve the appearance of the library.
So, and I'll just ask this, with this transfer, we have some money set aside specifically for remodeling and all that, but we didn't have to dip into that because we had carryover from last year? Is that for this specific thing?
This is specific to the shelving and to the fixing the bathroom, but we did have money set aside in the budget for this year that is going toward the painting and carpeting.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
But so for the county to do the transfer, we have to actually have a motion and approve that transfer by
Yes.
the county.
Okay.
Okay, any public questions or comments about this? Okay, seeing none, do we have a board motion to approve the appropriation transfer request as presented in 9C?
I move that we approve the appropriation transfer request in 9C.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye as well, motion carries. Okay, 9D is the shelving units. Do we have any other board questions or comments about the purchase of the shelving units for the Carnegie and the main floor? See none. Any public questions or comments regarding the shelving unit purchase for the Carnegie or the main floor? See none. Do we have a motion to approve the purchase of the shelving for the Carnegie and main floor?
I'll move.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye as well. Motion carries. Okay. Anything under informational items?
I have an oral information to share with you.
Okay.
It's during the Christmas tree lighting. The library has an information booth every year in front of the library where patrons can show their library card and spin our prize wheel to win things like the branded flash drives, pins, book bags, crayons, Post-it, gift cards for Walmart, Fandango, Dutch Brothers, and Starbucks, and so on. If they don't have their card, they can show their ID and spin the wheel. If they don't have a library card, they fill out an application, and then we mail them their card. This year, the library gave away 140 prizes, signed up 24 new patrons.
Oh, great.
Elsa and Anna from Frozen came and did 2 story times, sing-along, and picture ops. We handed out over 500 branded glow bracelets. So
Oh, that's
that's
great.
to share with you what happened that night.
That's great, and I was sorry that we didn't get to be out there since we had a board meeting.
Board meeting.
So, yeah, maybe we'll talk with the county about
Downtown.
trying to reschedule that for a different date this next year, so we
Yes.
can be out there.
I went that route, and evidently this is a long-standing date, and it always coincides with.
The first Thursday
yes,
of
the
December.
First Thursday,
Well-
so.
Maybe we just amend that.
You just eliminate the school board meeting.
Yeah,
You do that?
Or cancel Christmas.
We can talk to some
Yeah.
people about that.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, any discussion items?
No,
Any conference first reading?
no,
Action items?
yes.
Other than what we already covered. Okay, the annual organizational meeting.
Each year, the governing board shall hold an annual organizational meeting in any year in which a regular election of library board members is conducted. The meeting shall be held within 15 days, period. This is not one of those years. However, you still have to determine who will be your board president, elect a board president, elect a clerk, vice president, identify the secretary to the board, the authorized signatures, establish the trustee calendar. I have 2 samples for you on that one. And those are things that must happen tonight.
Okay. Does anyone on the board want to make any comments before we entertain motions? No?
I nominate Catlin as president.
Okay. We have a motion nominating Catlin as president. Do we have a second?
I second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other nominations? No? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye as well.
Is that okay, Catlin?
Congratulations.
Okay,
I figured that was gonna happen, so.
okay,
It's
good.
always, when you're sitting in this chair, you're queued up for that.
I just don't
But
want to
didn't-
move, so.
How long have you been president?
It's been a year. Time flies when you're having
Yes,
fun.
yeah.
I know, I
Okay.
feel younger.
All right, I'll entertain a motion for vice president.
I'll move for Jewel to be vice president.
I'll second.
Just knew.
All those in favor of Jewel as vice president?
Aye.
Aye.
You are now the new vice president.
Why'd I sit down?
I don't know, you should have just hovered. Just keep on moving, keep on moving.
Maybe I should just stand.
Just as long as I don't get the short
No,
chair.
no, I think you're all right. All right, I will entertain a motion for clerk.
I say Melissa.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
I second.
All those in favor?
Beat you to it. Aye.
Aye. Melissa, you are now clerk.
Now I have to move again.
Sorry.
See, I didn't plan that very well.
I was enjoying the seat. Thanks. I'll be back.
You have to move it all?
Now I have to remember.
Yeah, you planned that like a master.
All right, and we also have to nominate for the library board, we also need to nominate or appoint the Solano County librarian as secretary to the board. So do I have a motion to nominate the Solano County librarian as secretary to the board?
I'll move.
All right, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, and motion passes. All right. We need to make a motion to authorize signatures?
The authorization of signatures is, we can postpone it because you'll have to do it with Solano County now.
Okay.
And is that the president and the clerk? Are those are
Usually.
typically the, right?
All right, so we'll table, can I get a motion to table item A3?
I'll move.
All right, I have a motion. Can I get a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. And now we need to establish the 2020 Library Board of Trustees calendar. And samples are included in our board packet.
Now we have to decide what's the difference.
You have two versions of a calendar for 2020. The first one, one of the versions lists one meeting a month, and the second version lists a meeting every other month. It's up to the board if you want to continue to have your meetings the second Thursday of every month or the second Thursday of every other month.
And as I recall, Vacaville has theirs every other month. Is that right? No.
I don't know.
Do we want to move to every other month and have a slightly longer meeting?
I'm good for that.
Yeah.
I would Second that,
Yeah.
even though it hasn't been moved.
Right, all right, well, maybe you could make the motion. All right.
I move that we adopt calendar 2, which provides for a meeting every other month.
Okay, there's a motion. Do I hear a second? For calendar 2.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. We've now adopted calendar 2. We will meet every other month. Okay, now I need a motion for adjournment.
I will move.
All right, I have a motion. Do I have a second for adjournment?
Second.
A motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes, and we are adjourned.